Now we're gonna kill it with our Mothra. It comes back, and then we choose to keep the one with flying. Oh, we have fun here, kids. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for taking the time to watch Hello Good Game. Today we are playing a new deck in the pre-release event for Ikoria Lair of Behemoths, sponsored by Wizards of the Coast. This deck focuses around Nethroi, Apex of Death. It's a 5/5 Death Touch lifelink creature. Cat, Nightmare Dinosaur, I think? Nightmare Beast. Anyways, this deck is very powerful. We're going to take a look at the deck list, talk about the strategy, get into today's gameplay footage, then come full circle with our closing thoughts. So if you find any value from this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you're notified of our future uploads. We're also live on Twitch every single morning, 6 a.m. PST. I'd love your company. And be sure to jump in our Discord, link in the description below. Our deck list starts off with 2 copies of Fight as One, which I think is the most overpowered uncommon in the set. It's an instant, choose one or both. Target human creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains indestructible until end of turn. Target non-human creature you control gains +1/+1 and indestructible until end of turn. So if you have a human and a non-human, they can both gain +1/+1 and indestructible, which is just great because there's so much Shatter the Sky. We have 4 copies of Paradise Druid. Add 1 mana of any color. It has hexproof as long as it's untapped, and it's a 2/1. Chevill, Bane of Monsters. This is a 1/3 with Death Touch. At the beginning of your upkeep, if your opponents control no permanents with bounty counters on them, put a bounty counter on target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. When a permanent an opponent controls with a bounty counter on it dies, you gain 3 life and draw a card. We have 4 copies of Fiend Artisan, a 1/1. Fiend Artisan gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. You can pay X +1 and tap him, sacrifice another creature to search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less, put it into the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. We have 4 copies of Glowspore Shaman, a 3/1, and when Glowspore Shaman enters the battlefield, put the top 3 cards of your library into the graveyard. You may put a land card from your graveyard on top of the library. Moving on to our 3 drops, we have 4 copies of Plaguecrafter. This is a 3/2. When Plaguecrafter enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Each player who can't discards a card. We have 4 copies of Mythos of Nethroi. 3. Destroy target non-land permanent if it's a creature or if Selesnya was spent to cast this spell. We have 3 copies of Polukranos Unchained, our first 4-drop. It's a 0/0, which is going to become important later, and Polukranos enters the battlefield with 6 1/1 counters on it, and if it escapes, it enters the battlefield with 12 1/1 counters on it. If damage would be dealt to Polukranos while it has a 1/1 counter on it, prevent that damage and remove that many 1/1 counters from it. We can also pay 3 to have Polukranos fight another target creature. The escaped cost is 6 plus exiling 6 other cards from your graveyard. Luminous Broodmoth, the best card in the set as far as mythics go for sure, and probably just overall. It is a 3/4 with flying, and whenever a creature you control dies without flying, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it. We have Cavalier of Night. This is a 4/5 with lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, destroy target creature and opponent controls. When Cavalier of Night dies, return target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And then finally, Nethroi, Apex of Death, a 5/5 Death Touch lifelink, mutate cost for 7, and whenever this creature mutates, return any number of target creature cards with total power 10 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. These spells are accompanied by 2 plains, 3 swamps, 2 forests, 4 Godless Shrines, 4 Overgrown Tombs, 3 Temple Gardens, and 4 Indatha Triomes. We also have 3 Fabled Passages. Our deck's general strategy is actually pretty basic and pretty cool at the same time. We've got a little bit of everything incorporated within this deck. Obviously, our go-to card is the Luminous Broodmoth. It's absolutely amazing, you guys. We have a couple cool interactions. Obviously, the deck is based around Chevill, Bane of Monsters as our draw engine. At the beginning of your upkeep, you could put a counter on target creature that your opponent controls, and whenever that creature is removed or dies, you gain 3 life and draw a card. And then a lot of the deck is removal, so we can make sure to get those draws. Obviously, Cavalier of Night is removal, Mythos is removal, Plaguecrafter is removal, Polukranos is removal, So that's cool. We have a little bit of protection through Fight as one, ramp through Paradise Druid, and then we can pull anything from our deck, whether it's a Luminous Broodmoth, a Polukranos, a Cavalier of Night, or our Apex of Death throughout our Fiend Artisan. We just have to sacrifice another creature. And then Glowspore Shaman helps us mill cards into our graveyard to buff up our Fiend Artisan. And then creatures in our graveyard can be pulled out later with Nethroi, Apex of Death. So that's basically it, you guys. The other cool interactions is that Plaguecrafter and Luminous Broodmoth. When Plaguecrafter comes into the battlefield, you have to sacrifice a creature. You can target Plaguecrafter with himself, and then he's going to come back into the battlefield with flying, and then the sacrifice effect is going to re-trigger, so you can either choose to sacrifice himself again as the flyer or another creature of yours, because when you sacrifice another creature of yours, that other creature is going to come back in with flying as well. So it's a really, really cool positive value synergy with Plaguecrafter and Luminous Broodmoth. The rest of it is basically removal. We have our draw engine with our Bane of Monsters, which we don't necessarily need because we just pull things out with our Fiend Artisan, but it's a fun new card anyways. So there's not that much to it, right, you guys? It's pretty simple. You can fight your opponent's creatures with Polukranos, which makes it really easy, and then Mythos of Nethroi. So let me know what you guys think of this deck. I'd love to know your thoughts below. I know some people said there wasn't synergy between our Broodmoth and Apex of Death because it's going to stop them from going to the graveyard, but eventually they will go to the graveyard, and we really just want to pull our Broodmoth out. Again, that's the main idea of Fiend Artisan and Nethroi, is just to re-pull our Broodmoth out. We don't really need all that cards in our graveyard. We just want to play this moth as many times as we can. So with that being said, you guys, let's get into today's gameplay footage. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you're notified of our future uploads. Join the Discord, partake in one of our many community events. We have almost $2,000 in prize pool accumulated now for everybody to partake in. So that's really cool. Be sure to check out our community's contests and competitions tab within the Discord. Links for everything is in the description below, the deck list, etc. With that all being said, let's get into today's gameplay footage. Okay, so the hand doesn't look spectacular at all. We have our Fiend Artisan, but other than that, not a lot. We have the ramp, which is probably pretty helpful. Let's try to ride off of that. Start with a nice, easy Fabled Passage. Turn the audio up for you guys a little bit. All right, pulling a forest here. Into our Druid. It seems they've updated the symbols as well, so you can see all of them right on the bottom. That's pretty cool. All right, I don't mind that, in all honesty. Just get right into it, right? Polukranos, Unchained. Exceptionally good with the Apex because it is a 0/0, so it can come out for free. We're playing against Yadaro, Wandering Monster. One of my new favorite cards, 8/8, Trampling Haste. Cycling for 2, which means you can pay 2. Put it into your, discard it, so into your graveyard, and then you get to draw a card. But when you cycle it, I think 4 or more times, you just get to play it from your graveyard instead. So that's pretty deadly. Pull out a Plains here. Playing our Luminous Broodmoth. And then when our Polukranos dies, he's going to come back to the 6/6 with flying. So that's pretty groovy. We're only attacking with him, leaving our Paradise Druid untapped in case we need to put Indestructible on our dudes. Unpredictable Cyclone, another really cool new card as well. There we are. So we have our Fiend Artisan, which typically pulls these cards out of our library for us, but we're just going to play them instead. We had a pretty nice draw hand. Whenever you cycle a card for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Then he goes in for the scry. That's going to be his turn. And I think he's going to want a little bit more than that. Our Triome land, so good. 3-colored land. How do you not take that? And then we may as well just nip this in the butt, probably, since we don't have trample. It only makes sense. I still want to keep our fight as 1-up in case we need to save the field. So the Paradise Druid can attack, but we need to keep this land untapped now. Down to 6, we have lethal next turn. And again, he has to exile them off. Like if he field wipes, everything comes back with flying and he dies. So Shatter the Sky is a no longer save all. He needs to now exile basically everything, which is a bummer. And then we could just re-pull them out with our Fiend Artisan, or if they go to the grave, because somehow he is able to deal with the Moth, we can pull another Moth out with our Fiend Artisan, and then our graveyard now powers him up as well for that last little bit of damage. I'm happy with our first match. Whenever you cycle another card, gain 1 life. Totally fine. Mothra is so good. Do you think we can go buy the alternative art styles for them right now? I bet we probably could. We should do that. He's gonna gain 1 life here because he's cycled. Cool. Our turn though. Let's just get out there. And it's 2/2. We should still fight it. Alright, takes us 1. It is what it is. Giving Paradise Druid back for our fight as 1. And that's going to be game. I don't think there's any card that really deals with that at a satisfactory level. Satisfactory? All right, so he's down to 3 life. We're at 18. We have literally the worst field you could ever see on the opposing board state. He's a ton of land, no doubt. That's 6 land. He should be able to do literally anything he could ever want with that. Ooh, Zenith Flare deals X damage to any target. You gain X life. He's choosing 4. Let's just go ahead and pick that up. Ouch. Give him our signature hello, good game. Now we're gonna kill it with our Mothra. It comes back, and then we choose to keep the one with flying. Oh, we have fun here, kids. Right, we could do that quite some time. Not get bored of it. So we've got our 6/6 flying Polukranos, Unchained. Another ready to hit the field. Fiend Artisan is a 2/2, can pull anything from our deck that we could possibly want. We would have to sacrifice something though, which is what we should have done last turn. We should have sacrificed our 1/1 Polukranos with Fiend Artisan rather than just playing another Polukranos on top of it, because we spent the mana, right? Spent 4 mana, so we could have spent same and pulled out a different 4-drop. I'm not sure why our opponent's roping us in the pre-release event. I would be excited to play more games if I was him. That's okay though. So I'll just stare at Luminous Broodmoth. He gets it again. He's like, you know what? I will not stand for it. We immediately replay it. Should we play it and then kill him, I guess? Ouch. So that's a pretty golden round 1, you guys. GG. Lots of land. We have ramp as well. Polukranos and a Cavalier with not enough land to cast him. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, hit the mulligan. This looks like it could be a little bit better. Keeping 6, and we want to maybe toss our Cavalier down. It's a pretty late game. Let's play our Triome, the 3-colored land. Oh my god. Very cool. So this does basically anything we ever wanted to. Let's start our library mill. Ooh, we tossed down 2 of the cards we want. Not in our graveyard. That's fine. Both our Luminous Broodmoth and our Nethroi Apex of Death. We got to see the Broodmoth in action last game. Hopefully we can get our Apex of Death in action here. Cauldron Familiar. Oh my god, you guys. This gentleman's too much. Coming tapped here. Doesn't really affect us too much. And honestly, I don't mind trading with this cat right now. It's a pain if it stays in play. And we could even save our creature. It's probably worth doing. We have no Broodmoth to protect. I mean, he does have a huge hand, but just get this Polukranos out. We've got a pretty thick graveyard for him to come back with as well, through his escape cost. And then let's just get lucky with a Fiend Artisan. Pull out whatever else we want, right? Second Familiar. No attacks here. We'll hold off. We don't really want to lose our last remaining creature. Ooh, so Soul Diviner is really good because you can take counters off things. And this set puts a lot of counters on things. Slam that. Might want to cycle this. Not 100% sure. We'll keep it for now. And let's head home with our Unchained. He doesn't want to block because if he does, he loses it. And now both Unchained and Glowspore can attack, so he's better off to keep it. for the blocker. This land deserves an animation. So good. He could have Exile, which is a little bit annoying. Ooh, he's got the Broodmoth, you guys. Look at it fly across the screen. Oh, loving it. Kind of annoying, but it is what it is. We've got to kill it. And get some creatures on the field, I suppose, and thin our library. Right? For every land we pull out of our library, means the chances of us drawing a non-creature card go up. So we can attack with all here. Probably gonna still block our Glowspore. He just takes it down to 14, that's amazing. Polukranos is a great target for our Fiend Artisan to sacrifice right now when he's solo in life. Blood for Bones, bringing the moth back, you guys. We get to see it again. Ready? The Broodmoth could become this thing where it's like Elspeth Conquers Death, and the more times you can cast it during a game, the higher chances you will have of winning. Ooh. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we can't do it this turn. By golly, we sure want to, though. We couldn't kill him if we wanted. We could try and threaten it with our Polukranos if he blocks, right? Not going to. Down to 11. Is what it is. Fiend Artisan can do some work for us here. Playing the cats. Our Nethroi costs 5, so we need 6 mana to pull the second copy of it out from our library, which we have. Still not being able to deal with the moth that turn, though. It's kind of a little bit dirty, but we'll get to it eventually. Really, another Soul Diviner. That's actually pretty good. He hits for 3. He's keeping pace with us. Ooh. We might just do that, shouldn't we? Certainly is cheaper, and we do get to just remove it. Sacrifice our Polukranos. Killing his Broodmoth. We could pay 3, bring something out worth 2. I don't know how worth that it is. Smash home. Down to 8. We have life gain with our Cavalier of Night to offset any damage he's going to. And I guess we push back, pulling out our Apex of Death 1 turn. Plaguecrafter, okay, that's fine. We get to choose the sacrifice. It will be Paradise Druid, sadly. Pushes our Fiend Artisan up even further. He plays a second, it will be our Plaguecrafter. That's funny that he's playing the Moth with Plaguecrafter. That's actually in our deck as well, believe it or not. Ooh, so he's dealt with our Fiend Artisan. Sucks. Let's get our own Broodmoth in, see how he likes it. And then we can attack with our Cavalier. He's going to have to take it, I guess. I don't know. Ouch. We're at 18, and we have two very formidable creatures on the field. Our opponent has only 2 cards left. Bastion of Remembrance and a Soul Diviner. I don't think that's enough. Getting our Polukranos back. That's a 12-12. If Polukranos dies, he comes back as a 12-12 flyer. So that's like something that he's gonna need to deal with. Ouch. Down to 5. We're at 21. 1 card left. I'm not too worried. I think that's gonna be a game. It is. Beautiful. 2-0, you guys. Pretty gross deck. Our land's a little bit weird here. I don't know if we're gonna take it. We have no... let's mulligan it. It's basically the exact same hand with better land. Or... yeah. Keep all of our creatures. Playing our Triome off the start's always nice. And I guess let's get right in there with our Fiend Artisan, right? We can Glowspore Shaman next turn. It is just a 1-1, which is kind of crazy to play right now. Look at that dude. He got like bones in his hand. I like some of the better cards. They've got an animation that comes up, like when they enter the battlefield. Yeah, we'll have one too, but we really need to just put cards in our graveyard. Oh, take out our Moth again. Play our second Triome. We're not looking to trade here, so passing our turn. They got Jessica Humans, potentially. You got over here. Oh, it's a companion deck. This is really cool. This is the new mechanic. Each permanent card in your starting deck has an activated ability, and you have to follow the companion rule to have him be your companion. So it's basically like getting an extra card in your hand all the time, as long as you follow the rule. Get our Bane of Monsters out. Fiend Artisan. Not the worst. Attacking with our Glowspore Shaman here. He goes to the graveyard. Our Artisans become 3/3s. It's pretty groovy. He's gaining quite a bit of life for the cycle. Takes the damage, kind of mitigates the damage we did, right? Ooh, pays life for the land. Into his companions, has land left over. What's it for? Alright, we're gonna destroy that. Pulling out, I guess, a Plains here. And by golly, we're killing the Dawnwaker with our Cavalier of Night. It sucks we have to sacrifice a creature. It will be our Glowspore, though. A nice trade. When Cavalier dies, we can bring our Glowspore back. Ooh, gives it indestructible and we sacrificed a creature for nothing. No attacks here. The 4/5 with life gain is still quite formidable. Gonna have to deal with that. But yeah, having us sacrifice our creature just for nothing is pretty good. Lands less than ideal. I don't want to sacrifice the Cavalier. That's bad play. But we do want our Moth out. We're digging him out with our Fiend Artisan. We could go Polukranos as well, which is pretty cool. But let's get our Moth out first. Let's go in with both attacks here. One will kill just about anything. The other has Death Touch. It dies, and they both will come back with Flying, which is the name of the game. Gonna gain another 2 life here. Oh, does he get it back to the graveyard? No, he has to cycle Yardo that many times. Darrow. Okay, cycling more. He gets the 2/2 Shark here. That's actually pretty cool. He's actually doing pretty good with the cycling, in all honesty. He's got the Flyer as well, which is good. Just takes it, kids. That's interesting. 10 life left. He's gained a lot of life he's probably gained 10 life this round, right? So he's definitely using his survivability. Whoa. Target creature cannot block this turn. Okay. I mean, we're at 22. Down to 13. That's a big hit. Land's not so hot. We'll make it work, though. Can block, obviously, our 4/5. We're gonna do 3, 7, 8 damage. Yeah. You should block the Cavalier of Night. Trickeries could he possibly have? I guess he does have 5 mana available. A Cycle City, right? Good golly, this 4/4 Shark. Now that is a creature, you guys. Shark Typhoon in the house. Even nice. That kills our Broodmoth. Don't like that. And now if we sacrifice our Bane, he does not come back. All right, sacrificing our Chevill. Not something I wanted to do, but it is what it is. We need, I believe, this is our last option here, right? We have to go nuclear if we're going to win this. This allows us to pull any number of target creature cards with converted power 10 or less from our graveyard to the battlefield. That's pretty cool. We can just bring all our guys back. Costs what? 6, 7 though? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We do have the land available. This guy is gaining so much life, you guys. It's ridiculous. Wow. He's gonna beat us. Very nice deck, you guys. The Shark Typhoon's the truth. He's up to 17. Probably done 35 damage this turn, or this game. Does he get the kill here? 2, 4, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're dead. Ouch. We're close. We would have maybe got it next turn. All right, you guys. That was our Abzan Indatha Nethroi Apex of Death Luminous Broodmoth combo deck. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. We're going to get back to the live stream now. Don't forget to follow us on Twitch. We're live every single morning, 6 a.m. PST. And you can also jump in the Discord to be notified of all of our many events and happenings. That all being said, thank you guys all for your continued time and attention. I look forward to playing more Magic with you throughout the year. Take care.